Armada Book 3 Chapter 3 The Pied Piper Part 1. October 2060. Andrew and Olive were waiting by a fountain inside a square within a group of buildings in downtown Los Angeles where Vicky and Ellie were speaking in a science convention. He could not decide whether to go somewhere else or just wait for Vicky. This indecision always comes to him whenever he's waiting, even for a few minutes. Olive suggested, "You can wait in the ship if you like." Still, he's undecided. Out of the corner of his eye Andrew saw a man running towards their right. He looked back and looked around seemingly looking for a place to hide. He's in his early 30s, slightly tall and slim. He was wearing a light brown plaid shirt and black jeans. He was holding a small pocket notebook, and the way he's holding it, Andrew found strange. The man saw Andrew and Olive and he ran towards them. He sat down and said, "Hi, I'm Don." He extended his hand and Andrew instinctively extended his also. "Are you all right? Some people are following me." Andrew did not want to be rude, but he wanted this man off his side. "Excuse me, we have to go." While he is the guy who usually puts his finger in every hole he sees, this time he really does not want to be bothered and get involved in a probable nut case. Especially this time when he can't decide where to go. As he stood to walk, Don slipped a notebook into his jacket side pocket. Then two older guys appeared from around the corner and saw him stand and walk away. The two guys approached Don and he heard Don greet them. Then Andrew saw them search Don for something. Andrew and Olive walked towards the building where Vicky and Ellie were. Don slipped a small notebook into your right side pocket, Andrew. Olive said to Andrew. Olive, send out a Mac and tag Don, Andrew said in a low voice. Andrew looked back and saw the two men got Don between them as they walked towards the parking lot. After a minute he looked back again and could not see them anymore. As they rounded a corner, he put his hand in his right pocket and got the notebook out. He looked at it and half of the notebook was written into. The writing often has single words, some sentences, some phrases. Then there was a direction arrow map with symbols. Then on a folded page there was a small rough drawing of a round ship similar to the Marinti cigar, but the drawing appears more pointed. "Olive, can you go over this page by page and see if you can make sense out of this?" Olive looked at the notebook as Andrew leafed through the pages at a steady pace. They reached the convention hall and sat behind the reception desk, which was now empty. After several minutes, "I believe this is about an investigation of an alien ship. I tried to track Don among the attendees and he is a freelance reporter. I have accessed his personal files and he lives in Portland, but he is now booked at the Holiday Inn in Burbank. Don has been tagged." I also beamed a probe above them. They are walking towards a car. Maybe this is one of those conspiracy theorists. What are they talking about? I am patching the audio to your implant. Andrew can hear one voice, "Don, look buddy, we try our best to help, but our boss told us to ask you kindly to stop with your investigation as a matter of national security. We know you were going to talk to Dr. Richards at the convention and we have asked Dr. Richard not to entertain you. Jerry, I am onto something. You should be the first to take a look at this." Don said. The same voice, "Don, but you're talking about an alien invasion. I don't want you to appear nuts or anything. You're an accomplished writer, people know you. I know you. Also my boss feels this alien invasion theory will make our group look bad because we are not investigating it. But if we do, we'll look strange and foolish. I hope you see our position. The two guys are from your Federal Bureau of Investigation." They let Don get into his car and Don is now starting to drive away from the two. "We'll just return this at his hotel. How long will we wait for the two, Olive?" "The convention will end in 59 minutes. "Where is Don now?" "He's on the freeway. He will be in his hotel in 18 minutes. He is making a call to a friend attending the convention to look for us. He is describing us and the friend said she will look for us to get the notebook." After a minute they see a tall good-looking blonde in a red convention blazer walk through the door on their left. "Hi, I'm a friend of Don and I see you have his notebook. He called me and asked me to get it from you guys." Andrew gave the notebook without saying a word. Olive was quiet as well. "Thanks," the blonde said and quickly turned around and headed back into the convention hall. "The woman is sending a text message to Don," Olive said. "Probably to tell him she got his notebook back." Olive sent a Mac to tag the blonde as well. "Olive, it just occurred to me. You can send yourself. Take one of the solid bodies and a tag pen, beam yourself inside, cloaked of course, and tag the blonde." "You are absolutely right, Andrew. I wonder why I did not think of that. It must be because we are so used to doing these sorts of things. But then we deprive a Mac of his enjoyment. In that case, send a Mac out. Let them do it. And tell them to tag the two FBI agents as well." Andrew stood up and peered through the split in the doors. "What are they talking about?" "They are now in the question and answer portion. Vicky and Ellie are telling the convention participants that their map of the cosmos need to be more flexible to let the idea that the universe is more than what their instruments can tell them. Short of telling that the Big Bang is wrong, they patiently explain that as scientists they should rely also on their imagination and not be afraid to conjecture. I like that. Can we go in? Andrew asked. No, there is nowhere to sit and we will be standing and making us stand out. If you want I can beam in a probe inside and we can watch on the ship. Never mind, I am not that interested anyway. Let's just sit here and get bored. The FBI agents have reported to their boss that they did not find anything on Don, and the boss said the other agents found his hotel room clean also. The FBI said they have searched Don's car and did not find the device. Olive said. What device? Andrew stood up and paced in front of Olive. Let me move over to their boss. He's in Texas right now. Their boss is an old retired Navy admiral and is an FBI assistant director. I am beaming a probe inside his office now. I am sending a Mac to tag him as well. Olive continued, the boss, his name is Simon Farrell, he got out of his office and is now walking outside into the building's garden area. He is calling somebody in Washington, D.C. I am sending a hacker in. Send a hacker into his house as well. Yes, Andrew. The guy in Washington is a lobbyist for a deep-sea drilling company. His name is Carter Jones, a retired Navy captain. Send a tagger and a probe as well. Already on it, Andrew. I am also sending a hacker into his house. They are talking about the device and Carter is saying the device is very important. Simon says he understands and will fly here to lead the search. 2 agents at the hotel are waiting for Don at the lobby. I will tag them as well. Olive continued, Carter is talking to somebody who just called and this person is telling him the meeting will push through even if they cannot find the device. I am tracing the call. The call is from a guy in London. His name is Jason Steele, a rich businessman, and he is in a coffee shop. I am sending a tagger as well. I am sending a hacker into his house. What meeting, when and where? Don is making a call to his friend in Portland. He is now in his hotel room. He is telling him about the searches in his car and hotel. He said he is now the primary target and his call may all be monitored by the FBI. Get into the FBI monitoring center's Olive. Find out what they have on Don and his friend. His friend's name is Oliver Reek and he's an engineer-physicist. He was on the list but nobody could find him until now. His expertise is space life support systems and weapons. I am sending a tagger to tag him and a hacker into his home. Let's go to the parking basement and beam back to the ship. Back at the ship, Olive started, I have hacked into the FBI monitoring centers. They believe that Don and his group are a bunch of lunatics out to fan wrong information to the public. They are not too aggressive though because they feel Don and his group is a harmless group. Except for Simon. Don's group has a small office beside Oliver's house. There are 2 young people in the office playing a game on a large monitor. I am beaming a probe there now. Back in Andrew's bridge, Olive opened several hologram monitors. The monitor that got their eye was the kids in Oliver's office. A monitor of a desktop computer on an office desk beside them show an incomplete ship. The wall beside it shows a map of the desert in Death Valley and an X on a part at the foot of the mountain near a town that serves as a mining tour destination. Scan that X please. My scan shows a ship, Vinta size, buried a quarter mile underneath with a long tunnel. Beam probes inside. Andrew commanded. Several screens appear and it shows the inside of the ship. There are no humans inside the ship. The aliens are all inside their capsules in hibernation. I am sending the Norset hackers in. Sending more probes in. Andrew countered, send a marine detail and bomb the whole ship. Olive explained, the screen there shows Jason talking to a person in Paris. He is telling him the meeting tomorrow in Paris will push through even if they do not have the device. His name is Pierre Denoit, I am sending a tagger to him and a hacker to his office and house. Then Eric beams in. Hi boss, what's up? Andrew motioned him to look at the screens. Can we beam inside the ship, Olive? Yes, but we better be cloaked as they may have sensors for solid intruders. Come Eric, let's recon. Olive, come with us. In their cloaked state they can see the bridge of the ship teeming with activity with the Norset's hackers. They walk around and found the aliens in their hibernation capsules. Then they saw Marines busy planting bombs all over the ship. Olive, send some taggers and tag some of the weapon systems. Also look for their armory and tag all of their weapons. How large is this ship? Eric asked. Almost the size of a Vinta. There are 85 aliens on board. Why so large for such a small crew? Andrew asked. Their provisions takes a lot of space. Olive explained. How long have they been here? Eric asked. From the looks of the ground around them, 80 to 100 years. Let's wait for the hackers to get the data. I have not seen this type of ship in all the galaxies we've been to. Does this register with you, Olive? Andrew asked. No. And I have not encountered these alien life forms. They look like a cross between a Dugnog and Liston but colored dark blue-green. Vicky and Ellie will be finished in 15 minutes. Eric, let us go to Vicky and Ellie. I will brief you there. Olive beamed themselves in the basement parking and they walk up to the convention hall. Along the way Andrew briefed Eric on what transpired within the last hour. Olive explained, the hackers at Simon's, Carter's, Jason's and Pierre's computers found very few in common except for one. They are all working for a group called Preparers. We got the names in the groups and I am sending taggers and hackers now. It would seem the Preparers are preparing something for the coming of some aliens. The Norsets reports that the aliens are called Romitlocks from a galaxy for BLY away from Earth. But they have conquered planets in several galaxies. It seems they are an expansionary species moving from planet to planet. Some planets were enslaved. Some were all killed. There was mention of several human planets, probably Max, that they have conquered. And they have several thousand humans in the Preparers organization to adjust and make sure the Romitlocks coming will be easy. One of their major projects is to prepare humans by the dispensing of an agent or chemical that will make humans accept them as their superior leaders that will do good for the planet. What's with the device they are talking about, Olive? Andrew, the Norset said it was a beacon or a device the Romitlocks can home in on. Beam the 4 guys to the ship, knock them out cold, then have the Max hold their hands and extract all the information we need from them. Then put each of them in a time warp box. I also want all those in their organization to be knocked out cold, sent to the ship, and have the Max read their minds and get their experiences then put them in the time boxes. Yes, Andrew. Kristen is telling me that they have identified the human planets and the extent of the Romit Empire based on the information on the Romit ship. I'll go back to my ship. Eric said. He went under the reception desk and beams out. Olive reported, the Norsets are done with the ship. All the weapon systems, data systems and armory content were beamed on board Ellie's ship. They also have a sample of the chemical. Tell the Marines to open their capsules, tag them and beam them in time warp cells. Beam the ship to our hangar. Yes, Andrew. Olive said. Just then Vicky and Ellie come out of the hall. Hi guys, I am sorry it took so long. I hope you did not get bored. Not at all, Vic. We uncovered an alien invasion conspiracy and put some of the participants in time boxes, hacked into several computers around the world, hacked into an alien ship, got their leaders and we just beamed it up to the hangar bay as you were coming out. All within 2 hours? Ellie asked. Olive explained, no, it started 72 minutes ago. When a guy named Don slipped a notebook into Andrew's jacket pocket. You really did do this and this is not because you want to make me feel good that you did not get bored? I am sorry, honey. I want you to not feel bad that we did not get bored, but we really did not get bored because it really happened. We can go to Ellie's ship and see the Romit weapons and data systems. Then we can talk to the group called Preparers and ask them what they think they are doing. Of the billions of people on Earth that guy had to pick you to slip his notebook into, sir. Ellie noted. Dawn got it back already. See that blonde woman in red, she got it from us so she can give it to Dawn. Andrew said and waved at the blonde woman. She waved back. Vicky held Andrew's hand. I have to go, Andrew. I have several meetings with various scientists at the back of the house lined up. I will leave you guys to deal with the alien invasion. Okay, honey, I will see you later. Vicky kissed Andrew, looked at Olive and she disappeared. Okay, back to the invasion. All the members of the organization have been tagged. Do you want to beam them up into the time boxes? Yes. And tell Alan and Albert about this. Let's all go back to the ship. The group walked to the parking lot and behind some walls beamed back to Andrew's ship. Roger and Gadden were there looking at the screens. Then as soon as Andrew's group beamed in, Eric and Kristen beamed in. Tony is moving some hop ships towards the target human planets. The nearest one is 1.1 BLY away. There are also captured planets which we have to identify which alien groups they are. As a precaution I told all the ships to scan for underground ships on Earth and they found none. Although there is one buried under the ocean. Roger said. Andrew added, let Alan do the work on that one. Andrew, some of the organization members we got are working in a factory near Andrew's Air Force Base. The factory is now empty. I am beaming probes now. Send the Marines and chemical warfare experts. Andrew added. I will assemble a team to look at the chemical agents. Then I will study the Romit physiology and their weapon systems. Tom, beam me to my bridge. Ellie said. I will have my best mind readers extract information from the humans we captured. Gadden said and disappeared. Olive reported, Don has met with the blonde woman and got his notebook back. They are talking about heading to investigate a place in Colorado. Beam the two here and beam his engineer-physicist friend. Don and the blonde woman were kissing when they got beamed in. Then Dr. Oliver Reek appeared and was walking when he was beamed in. He walked 2 steps and stopped. Hello Don. Dr. Reek, hello ma'am, welcome to my ship. The group was quiet. Hello, I'm Olive, this is Eric and Kristen, and Roger. Hello. Don answered. He was unsure and absolutely dazed. Reek turned and waved a hello. Andrew explained, before you got in, we captured all the organization members, captured the alien ship and crew. They are all in various ships getting processed. But I just slipped my notebook just over an hour ago. We move fast. Andrew said. I'm sorry, this is Donna Reek, Oliver's daughter. Yes, we gave her the notebook. Don, please tell us what you know about the Romitlocks. Romitlocks, you mean the aliens. Well, we know they have a ship that you said you captured. We also know they have a factory in Colorado where they are making chemicals to be added to the jet fuel for all our commercial and military planes. This chemical dispensed this way will hover in the atmosphere and get into our brains, and we will be subservient to the aliens. The infected humans are normal, but they just work for the aliens like in a dream. Do you know where this factory is? Roger asked. Yes, I have the address. Reek said. What's the address? Olive asked. Reek got his notebook out and finding the page, showed it to Olive. Reek added, it's west of Denver. Olive produced a hologram of the place. Andrew, the place is empty except for 2 individuals. 2 individual lights that appear like people were blinking. Send the taggers out and get those 2. Send in the Marines and chemical teams in. Andrew said. Olive reported, Albert is mobilizing and Alan and his Armada are on the way. They will meet up with Tony and his hop ships to lay the course out. Reek saw the 2 blinking people disappear and then more than 3 dozen people appeared and blinked. There could be more in other countries. Roger said. Gadden appeared. Andrew, there are more factories in other countries. The mind reading revealed at last count we have 18 in 12 countries. There could be more. The ships have sent our taggers out and we will beam in the Marines to secure the areas. Don just stood there holding Donna's hand. Reek seemed to be more comfortable and walked around looking at the holograph screens. Reek exclaimed, I saw this on TV. Olive, you're in the series. But you're much prettier in person. Thank you, Dr. Reek. Yes, the producers insisted on real ships, real actors, and real places. Andrew said. Just then Gantley appeared as a hologram. Hi Andrew, we heard you have some uninvited guests on your planet. Ibudi. Yeah. This is one of those things like the Tosbans or something. We just left you the other day. I am turning my ships around to go to Earth. I will be there in 5 days. He's in the movie too. His name is also Gantley. Reek said. Roger explained, except for humans, all those in the TV series appear as the real alien people they represent. Although I must admit the guy performing as me is good looking since his face is similar to mine, see? He does not look like you at all, Roger. Andrew countered. He actually have not seen the actor or even the series with Roger in it, but he is sure the actor is not good looking. Andrew, he does look like Roger except for the eyes. Olive said. I know who you are talking about. His name in the show was Rigger. Well, the guy's is good looking and also has a smiling face. Reek said. Andrew laughed. The casting company must have been impressed with Roger's smiling face. Andrew thought. Tonin appears as a hologram. Hi Andrew, I heard you have the Pied Piper of the Romits. Tonin, buddy, that's exactly what we have. I will be there in 5 days. Binaton is sending more ships which will arrive in 10 days. These are newbies that he wants us to train. Fine, how many Norsets are we going to train? 600,000 in 400 ships. They have all gone through Santos training module and these guys are ranked the best with the drones. They just need travel experience. His name is Tonin too, he's a Norset. Reek said. Don and Donna kept quiet, just observing. We have tagged all the people in the factories and sending out Marines to secure the areas. Olive reported. Ellie appeared. Sir, the Norsets have identified the dream chemical toxin. It's very small and very stable even at very high temperatures. The Norsets identified a chemical and used it as a reagent that binds with the chemical in their attempt to isolate and study the dream chemical. To their surprise, the dream chemical became inert. We tried it on the human subjects and they snapped out of their dream state. They do not even know what they have been doing for the last 5 years or so. Well, they do, but not why they desired to work at the factory so much or why they joined the preparer groups. They simply don't know what happened. This chemical reagent was a Norset chemical which they simply call Sanat or sugar, not anything like our sugar, and we do not have this on Earth. Good work, Ellie, that was quick. Now all we have to do is dispense this on Earth. It was luck. The Norsets said they got lucky. Ellie said. Boss, we don't want people to suddenly not remember what they did. Let Harold investigate it first. Roger said. Fine. Andrew said. Sir, who are these people? Ellie asked. Olive introduced them. You're the Ellis, the science officer of GX1 in the TV series. You're prettier than the actress, if I may. Reek said. Why, thank you, Dr. Reek. I guess you're one of our early fans. The series is not doing well based on the reviews. Reek, Ellie takes praises seriously. But go on, tell her more. He was hoping this will turn Ellie to open up to attracting men. Praise her some more and we might lose her to a charming prince. Roger added. Exactly what I was thinking. This is really eerie, Roger. Andrew said, and Roger nodded. Stop it. I know I am pretty and smart. My dad has always told me so. Andrew looked at Roger. Okay, fine. Roger said, shaking his head. The int keys have finished with the Romet language device. Olive said, and 5 round devices appeared on her hand. Roger, Ellie, and Andrew got one. Here, Dr. Reek, wear one. Here, let me help you. Ellie said to Reek. Don, have this last one. Andrew said, and gave the last device to Don. Andrew exclaimed, let's talk to the Pied Pipers. Olive beamed them in one of Ellie's labs where the top Romet was suspended in a time warp. 4 Norsets and an Inky were working there. Has a Mac tried to read their minds, Ellie? Roger asked. Yes, and their wavelengths are not the same. Ellie said. Can't the Macs wear something that will alter these wavelengths so we can adopt to these guys? Good idea, sir. Tom, get Santos and his team to work on this. You know me, Ellie, I'm your idea man. Have you studied their physiology? Roger asked. Yes, we have. They are similar to the Listons, soft bones and tissues. They look tough, but they are not at all strong. These aliens are not capable of regular human strength. But they have a highly developed brain and they can move as fast as humans. That is why their armor is more rigid for protection and speed of movement. The brain that we dissected show a very high level of the dream chemical. Maybe they are victims of their own devices. Andrew said. We have another alien to test the reagent or SANAD on. Tom, put that guy inside the glass cage and pump in the reagent for it to absorb it. Inject some also. Then we'll wait. The SANAD works fast in binding with the dream chemical. Ellie said. Maybe that's why they are called reagent. Roger said. Ellie looked at Roger, then at Dr. Reek. No, they just got lucky when they decided to test it using the reagent, which turned out to be the solution to the problem. Ellie said. So you just got lucky? Andrew asked. That's what I said. Olive, did I not say it was luck? Yes, you did, Ellie. They saw the other Romet inside the glass cage and half of it was in a time warp. Then it woke up. Tom beamed in and injected something in its arm. When he beamed out, the glass cage was filled with a mist. I have injected him with the simple Norset SANAD reagent and the cage is now filling with the reagent. I think it's going to take a while. Let's talk to their leader. Wake him up, Tom. Andrew said. Tom moved the edge of the time warp field lower and now the head of the Romet was exposed. Blast his head with a very cold air, Tom, one of the Norsets said. Tom did so and the Romet woke up. Andrew, he is the commander of the ship, his name is Bacharach. Olive said. Hello, Commander Bacharach. My name is Andrew and you are under our custody. I have captured your ships, destroyed one and killed all your people in it. See, your assistant there is being tested with a chemical. We have dissected another assistant and we have learned your physiology. We have taken into custody all the humans you have infected and in the process of removing the chemicals in their brain. Your actions are considered acts of war and we are responding and will respond in the strongest manner possible. I want you to answer all my questions. I will not answer your questions. Kill me now. Eric beams in with Kristen. Boss, we have studied their weapons. They are standard laser, not anywhere near our plasma weapons. Their ships travel very slow, like 10 ly per day, and their technology is very archaic compared to ours. We should just go to their emperor and tell them to stop what they are doing or else. We will fight to the death. When you blew up my ship, our Armada will attack this planet. Eric noted, yes, we found a group of ships 1.35 bly away. Maybe 1800 ships Vinta size. But then they could be somebody else. At their speed they will be here in 180 years. Olive clarified. Tell Tonin to get to their positions to engage these people if they are Romets to train their newbies. If not, hold their positions. Andrew said. Why don't we let some of our new people get in on the act? We have a lot, especially from the Talonauts and other aliens, to join Tonin to learn the tricks of the trade. Roger suggested. Andrew agreed, do that. But tell them not to kill the enemy. Remember, this is only for show and training. Bacharach shouted, our ships will destroy your people. These are war-trained fighters. We usually will try to save some of your people from getting killed by sending them off to a planet. That's what Tonin would probably do. Don, you are all so quiet. Andrew said. I am trying to get into the sequence and taking mental notes of what's happening here. Ellie looked at him. You don't have to do that. Just ask Olive or Tom or Kristen to give you all the recordings of all the events. But you cannot write about us on Earth. You can join the writers of the TV series if you want, then you can write something consistent with what the Office of the Presidents has approved. Reek asked Bacharach, how many alien planets have you taken over? Countless, with many different species over thousands of years. Our empire is millions of times larger than your planet. This time he is in boasting mode. Good question, Dr. Reek. Ellie said. Andrew noted, I can't believe you have not met a highly advanced species in those planets you are conquering or conquered. Roger countered, maybe they have and could not adopt the technology, or probably the aliens withheld their technology because they were bad boys. I want to know where each and every alien planet you have conquered. Andrew said. Bacharach boasted, there are thousands. We already know where some of them are. Maybe there are some others which are not in your ship's data system. Eric said. They probably do. For those planets that are work in progress like Earth, they probably have thousands of those as well. Ellie said. I think Eric is right. We should just go straight to their emperor and get this information. Tell them not to do this again and free up all the planets. Maybe most of them may not even realize they have been conquered and we can free them without causing too much disruption. They may not even need to see us do this. Andrew said. Roger agreed, good point. Hey, our baby is awake.